Yeah, yeah. All right. Good morning. How are y'all doing this morning? Y'all see how great they look, but they smiling. They on vacation. They've had some rest. Unbelievable. Great work. Great work. Is the press ready? All y'all? All right. Well, look, from the beginning, we've committed to working for the people of this state. And if you're not on the side of the people of this state, then you're not on our side. And that's what we've said all along. 90 days ago, I stood right here and walked through a plan to address the insurance crisis that has gripped this state. And of course, when you talk about insurance, there's a couple of different buckets, right? It could be health insurance, it could be auto insurance, it could be property insurance. But when I stood here 90 days ago, we were focused on addressing the auto insurance crisis. And when we looked at the statistics, we realized that in those statistics, we saw that the number of small injury claims in this state was double the national average. So if you utilize the data and if you take a balanced approach, you have the ability, we have the ability to affect those rates. We know that because the insurance companies and the legislature told us so. They gave us a report card in 2020, and all we have to do is follow that and more. And every time we follow that, we know the insurance companies have laid out the savings that would occur. And so a month ago, in the middle of the session, I don't remember the last time a governor has signed bills in the middle of a session because these folks did such great work. They were able to send those bills to my desk before the session was over. A month ago, we signed a host of bills that were targeted to addressing small injury claims. We made sure that uninsured drivers can't game the system. We cracked down on abuse, whether it was coming in from the courtroom or the boardroom, because we knew that this system was broken. And we said that it's been broken on both sides. So we took a balanced approach. As we reined in the lawyers, we needed to make sure that our insurance department had the power to keep insurance companies in check as well. And the power that we gave them is no different. I repeat, it is no different than the power that the insurance departments in Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina have. Anyone who tells you anything different, you tell them to come see the governor and tell them to bring the evidence to you. Our insurance department now is on an equal footing with our southern neighbors. But we didn't stop there. We kept on working. And so today, we finish what we started 90 days ago. Let's talk about a couple of things that we did to address property insurance. Because like I said, our focus was on auto, but we know that we have a property insurance crisis. We signed a number of bills last year, hoping to address those. We continued to work on property insurance as well. And so we'll walk through a couple of the bills that we're going to sign today. One of them is House Bill 145 by Roger Wilder, which will help Louisiana families retrofit their homes through the Fortified Roof Program. This is something that Senator Talbot and Senator Duplessis and others in the House have been working on for years. We want to improve our Fortified Roof Program. We also want to educate our citizens in the state about the Fortified Roof Program. You can receive up to a 20 to 30% discount, like Senator Talbot is right, on your property insurance premiums by simply engaging in a Fortified Roof Program. And what's also important, and I'll tell you, just Friday, before the weekend, on Friday, in Acadiana, a new property insurance company came into the state of Louisiana, specifically to write commercial property in Louisiana. in a very specific range. So what we're seeing is we are seeing insurance companies come into the state to write policies. Why? Because the more we fortify our roofs, the more we improve our structures to be able to handle the storms that come on to our shores. Guess what happens? When 20% of those structures in a geographical area are improved, we see premiums go down for everyone. It's a high tide. It's a high tide that rises all boats. We also, where's bro? Right. There you are, Jacob. He did a great. Let me tell you something. We put this on him right at the beginning, and he jumped right into it. All last year, it goes to show you that a lot of the solutions really come from the people. If you just talk to them outside of this Capitol, from our constituents. I heard from so many people as I traveled the state about property insurance. Well, look, I've been in my home for 30-something years. I almost have it paid off, or I have half of it paid off. Why do I have to insure it all the way to current market value? It's worth more than it cost me to build it. Maybe I don't want that amount of insurance. I'm looking for every way to reduce my premiums. As premiums skyrocket, we should be working with our citizens in order to ensure that they are comfortable with the coverage that they're having, but that it's affordable to them. Representative Jacob Breaux's bill, House Bill 356, is going to let families insure their homes for its actual stated value. That was an idea that we took from the people around the state. It means that people have an opportunity to lower their premiums, fewer forced policies, and more insurers coming in to the market. House Senate Bill 137 by Senator Kirk Talbot, to make his bill ensures that insurance companies won't be able to sneak out of communities and leave you stranded. They now have to tell the insurance commissioner that they are going to abandon certain markets in the state. So our citizens are not caught off guard. We also, so we did those things to work on property. And then we went back to working on auto insurance. And of course, I guess this may transcend both property and auto. But House Bill 258 by Representative Sylvia Taylor is protecting our seniors, making sure that they deserve respect, not punishment. Her bill protects our seniors from age discrimination in calculating their insurance premiums, so their bills will not go up just because of their age. Now, in continuing our work on auto insurance, remember again, we have now, just so you know, we have now checked off 7 items that the insurance companies in 2020 told us would lower our rates. Many of those things have actual numbers to them. 2%, 5%, 0.5%, 1%. Collectively, if you add that up and more of what we're doing today, our citizens deserve a discount. That is, again, why we passed the bill to ensure that the insurance company, the insurance department had the ability to check to make sure as rates are rising while we are making adjustments to our legal process, they are going to have to tell us why. So let's see what more we did. One of the biggest ripoffs in the game is how insurance companies pass their advertising cost on to you. I told 90 days ago, I stood right here. I said, I'm as tired of seeing Morris Bart as I am of seeing the lizard. Right? Representative Gabe Furman, House Bill 438, ensures that insurance companies' advertising bills do not show up in your premiums. They want to hire a lizard or any other sportscaster or any other movie star, whatever they want to do is fine. But they cannot make that cost reflective in your premiums. We tried to rein in lawyer advertising. Senator Seaball seemed to not be able to come to work that day, and that bill died. I want you to know, we tried. The last time We tried with that bill. The governor vetoed it. This time, a senator couldn't show up for work. Maybe we'll get it done next year. Another injustice. Now, again, we're going down the things that either the report said would lower insurance or Forbes. And I mentioned this last year, and I mentioned it 90 days ago. Today, we're finally taking note. Forbes did a huge report. Wall Street Journal did one all last year, talking about the things that affect our auto insurance premiums. Today, we signed two bills that Forbes said in their report will affect our premiums. The first one is by Senator Jay Luno, Senate Bill 61. It finally forces insurance companies to tell you if they are raising your rates based upon your credit score. People's credits, if insurance companies are increasing your premiums just because you have a credit score that's low, then you should know about it. That gives you the ability to affect your credit score, to work on your credit score and say, hey, maybe your credit score. How many times people out there look at their credit score and they're like, well, wait a minute, I don't understand. I paid all my bills. I've done all these great things. Why is my credit score so low? You should know if you're being penalized because of a credit score. The second thing we've done, this is great. Representative Brian Glorioso. Where's the AAA folks? Where are they at? Oh my God. Y'all got to come up when we sign it. This is great. No, I'm serious. Like, and again, these are one of the great pieces of legislation that has evaded us at this Capitol. And it is distracted driving. Again, Forbes pointed out that one of the biggest things that we can do to affect auto insurance premiums is to ensure that we have a distracted driving law. They've had it in Texas for a while. Last time I checked, they're pretty conservative over there in Texas. It's one of the most conservative legislatures. It's evaded us here. Finally, this year, we were able to pass a distracted driving bill. Why is that important? Because if you quit texting and driving, it's less accidents. If there's less accidents, there's less lawsuits. So again, great bill. To keep going, this is a bill that last year I stood here and vetoed a collateral source, supposed medical transparency bill last year. Okay? And by the way, that bill came to my desk. It had been worked out by both sides. Bad bill. Bad bill. Everybody got mad at me. I said, we can do better. Why? Representative Glorioso. Both of them worked in crafting this bill. Senate Bill 231. But it should be like Senator Mike Reese / Brian Glorioso. Really, I see they standing right next to each other. They weren't getting along that great during part. No, I'm just teasing. Look at them smiling. This bill brings transparency into the courtroom by making sure judges and juries see both the medical bills and the actual amounts paid. This will once and for all prevent inflated phantom charges, but also protects the legitimate rights of those who are legitimately injured. So again, we're proving to the people of Louisiana, just because I veto something doesn't mean we can't make it better. And when it's all said and done, we're trying to work for the betterment of the people, not the betterment of the trial lawyers or the insurance companies. This is about you. We have utilized the data that we have been given. We have listened to both sides, and the men and women behind us have answered the call to put before the people of the state laws that should actually drive down the rates. So we'll see. Again, we're going to be, but again, that's why Representative Wiley, where's Wiley? Where's Jeff? That's why Jeff's bill was so important that I signed a month ago. Because now we finally have a way to hold those insurance companies accountable for what they told us they would do if we adjusted the law. And one of the things that's missing out of Jeff's bill, it's not missing out of the bill, but I don't know if people realize, I thought it was the smartest thing out there, is that now when you get your auto insurance bill, the insurance company is going to be required to put how much you paid last year versus how much you're going to pay this year. Actually seeing whether or not your costs are going up and by how much, and itemized, right, Jeff? It's itemized. I mean, it's great. It's unbelievable. Christian, you like that bill, huh? Jacob's. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll sign those bills, and then we'll take some pictures, and then I'm going to come back up and we're going to talk about the reorganization of DOTD, which by the way is kind of funny how this worked out, because I'm going to tell you another way that we lower auto insurance premiums in this state is by fixing our roads. The better our roads are, the less accidents we would have. I'm with you too. That's right. All right, let's go. Okay. Start. Y'all gonna just bring him to that? Okay. Let's see. We start with Representative Wilder. Y'all can all come up. Y'all come up. We'll get the author here, and then let's see. Let's see. Why did he come? Huh? Come on, Rick, sit in your place. Come on, sit. We tell Wilder. Y'all make sure that this is not Representative Wilder. This is Senator Rick Esmond.
Be the guinea pig for the governor.
That's right. Okay. This is on the fortified roof program. Kirk, you want to get close? This is the fortified roof. Deduction, right?
Come on.
No, you can sit there. You sit, Rick. You sit. He's the chair.
That's right.
Yeah, he
Come
got
on there with
All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Do it. All right. Which one we have next? 3. Which one's that? Oh, Jacob.
HB 356.
Where's Christian Gill? Come over here and get in this picture. This is one of the fellas that this is your bill, right? This is the bill you wanted? Yeah. Yeah, look, he has proof right here. This bill right here gets to lower his premium. Is that right? Huh. Hopefully, that's if they don't, you have to call us back. I don't know. We have to straighten the law. All right, here we go. This gives consumers in Louisiana a choice. All right. Kirk? See, Rick, I told you he was going to get a CD. This is notified that. Again, so this is the bill that ensures that insurance companies have to notify us when they are leaving the market, so that we don't, our citizens are not stranded. Okay. Gabe? See, we got the gecko, but we didn't get more sport. We're gonna take another shot next year. Hey, maybe you have to. You have to follow me. Maybe that's what.
Got to get it through the Senate, Governor.
Oh,
HB 258 by Sylvia Taylor.
oh,
Chairman,
Sylvia.
Chairman.
Gabe, you want to sit for Sylvia? This is Oh, yeah, this is for seniors. Just make sure that they can't penalize our seniors. Sylvia couldn't make it. We'll let the good chairman give her the pen. Again, this is one of the bills that Forbes said affects rates. Credit bill, right? This ensures that if your premiums are going up based upon your credit score, that they have to notify you. It's a great bill. Oh, where's Glorioso? Hey, where's Brian?
Right here.
Pete, what's happening, man? You all right? Catherine, come on, I know y'all worked hard. Well, Catherine, she was texting me. Y'all almost gave her a heart attack. Oh, yeah, go ahead. You made it happen, right? Right?
Yes.
This is a bill that this family has waited for a long time, right? Very, very long. Hard work, determination, patience, and a lot of grit finally got us there.
A lot of
A lot of I'm gonna give it. She gets the first one. Where's Catherine? Y'all get y'all one, the frame and AAA office. How about that?
thank you.
All right. Oh, you got it? We can take one. Hold on. I want to take one now. Let's take a picture.
Okay.
Go sit down. How about that? You want to come around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Come, Pete, let it. Okay. How about that? Okay. And the reason this bill is so special, because this family lost a loved one to texting. And their hope that this law is actually one of those laws that not only helps us lower premiums, saves lives. Thank you. Ryan, could you come in here too? Oh, you okay? Well, stand on this side. It's true. Look, these two guys worked so hard. They really did. They really did. All right. This is our medical transparency bill. Oh, and Brian, I'm gonna give you one too. If y'all did it, y'all worked so hard. Look what you. This is what I'm gonna do for this. This one, quick. This is GLOR IOSA. Huh? It's the Glorioso Reese bill.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. I appreciate it.
Okay, where we at? Okay, now we do a DOTD. Oh. You brought. All right, any of those legislators that want to stand for this one? And yeah, Eric, come on, Neil. Anyone who worked on this bill, this was a heavy lift. Come on, Glenn. We got a whole new. Did Joe come with y'all? Where's he at? Joe, where's Joe? And what about Eric?
Eric's here too. He's walking right now. There he is.
Joe. Joe, where's Eric?
Right there. Eric.
Eric. Joe, where's Joe? Joe, come stand by Glenn. Where's Eric?
He was back there too. They didn't ask for it.
Right there.
You see him?
Yeah, there he is right there.
Oh, there. You hiding from me? Come on in. Come on, these folks.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Like I said, we today we signed a host of bills that work to lower our insurance premiums. And we talked about, like I said earlier, trying to reduce our auto insurance premiums. Well, again, one of the things that does that is having better roads. I can remember in 2006 or 2007, one of our major papers did an expose for like a month talking about the infrastructure needs of the state of Louisiana. At that time, I think we had like a $5 or $7 billion backlog. Today, our infrastructure backlog in this state is $19 billion. $19 billion. And then only 26% of our highway priority program projects were delivered on time in 2023. And so it's clear that the current system we have been operating on is falling short of what the people of this state and the legislature expect. And that's why today is a historic day. Today, we work towards reform, towards efficiency, and accountability. The transformative legislative package that I'm getting ready to sign does two important things. It creates the Office of Louisiana Highway Construction, which is going to be housed within the Division of Administration. This office will oversee nearly 5,000 miles of non-federal aid roads and manage the State Highway Improvement Fund. But more than that, it will lead the way in re-imaging how we deliver road and bridge projects by harnessing the power of innovation through the private sector. By transferring eligible roads to local governments, we'll reduce the strain on the state while empowering our local governments and communities to manage the roads better. Remember, a government closest to the people governs best. This office will be vital in minimizing bureaucratic delays and ensuring that all agencies work in harmony. Secondly, we're going to create the Office of Project Delivery. We're streamlining the Department of Transportation and Development by replacing the traditional Office of Planning and Office of Engineering, combining those with a newly created Office of Project Delivery. This office will be laser focused on one thing, and that's results. From planning and designing to construction, our goal is to eliminate the inefficiencies and to deliver the projects on time. That is what our citizens demand. We're also going to create the Office of Transformation. This ensures that everlasting change remains at the department and that there's always someone there looking over the horizon. Led by a deputy secretary acting as the department's change agent, this office will set and enforce key performance indicators across asset management, workforce efficiency, innovation, safety, and stakeholder satisfaction. That means that our citizens should be real happy, right, Glenn? Right? This isn't just about internal metrics as well. This is about restoring public trust, ensuring that your tax dollars work for you. Because every time I went out on the road, on those bad roads, I would hear people complain about them, and they'd say, we need to fix them. And I'd go talk to another group, and they'd say, well, we need more money. The citizens of this state are not going to put any more money into these projects until we reform the department and that department is working efficiently. Today, we deliver on the promise that we made them and made sure that this department is now reorganized to work efficiently. We're going to create a highway priority program reform by revamping the highway priority program to reflect the needs of our citizens. This means selecting and prioritizing projects with full transparency based upon timeline accuracy and community interest. This means that we're going to be listening to people out there as to what their needs are, ensuring that we're delivering on them. I'll give you a great example of that. I'll tell you this, and we got a great new team, which I introduce in just a minute. But I went up to Richland Parish last week to do an interview on CNBC as CNBC talks about where the next line of states to do business are in this country. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that Louisiana is being featured on CNBC as possibly one of the best states to do business? And so we go to a project that is literally the size of Manhattan, in an area of Louisiana that has never seen economic development. In fact, we stood on a project that is the largest single private investment in the history of North Louisiana. And so I get there, and the first thing I meet is the sheriff who's complaining about the traffic and the roads. And he's recognizing that and they have to put some safety lights in. And it gets a little complicated because there's a rail line in there. And the railroads, they're not used to moving too fast. We're going to fix that. But when we started working through trying to deliver to the people of Richland Parish and to the sheriff a solution, I told them, look, we need a short-term fix with a long-term solution. And I called Eric Dauphiné, who we just appointed as our deputy secretary. And I started asking him some questions, and he sent me a text back, and he said, we're going to get everybody inside of DOT, we're going to try to work on a short-term fix. And I said, Eric, we're going to do one thing different. We're going to put the sheriff and them at the table when we work on that short-term fix. Because sometimes if you work on a short-term fix here in Baton Rouge and you're not on the ground where the problem actually is, common sense dictates that you might not fix the problem, you might exacerbate the problem. And he understood that immediately. Why? Because he's got common sense. That's why we appointed him to the deputy secretary. And so what I'm telling you is that the reforms that we're making today are going to make a difference and going to pave the way to making sure that our Department of Transportation and Development is smarter and more responsive for the people. And so before I come up to sign those bills, I also really want to thank Joe Donahue. Joe is going into the position he wanted all along. You know, when we got elected, things started moving real fast because we had a lot of catching up to do. And we had to put somebody in charge of the Department of Transportation and Development that would help us get to this point. And Joe had been working for me at the Attorney General's office. I don't know how long, Joe?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Man, it seems like 8. You were doing a great job. A long time. And he had come from the Department of Transportation. And he told me, he says, look, if you get elected, would you just think about letting me go back to doing lawyer work for the Department of Transportation Development? And I said, I got a better job. I want you to make you the secretary. And he looked at me. I cannot believe you're going to ask me to do that. I said, no, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. You have to do this. Why? Because you're not the person asking for the job. And so I knew by sending you there that you would do a great job, and you have. You've absolutely done a yeoman's job. And so to reward him, we're putting him back where he wanted to go. And we're now appointing a new secretary, which is Glenn Leday. And I believe between Glenn and Joe and Eric and this host of bills that we're going to sign, this is a team that will actually start delivering for the people of this state. And to the workers at DOTD, I will tell you that this is a bill, these series of bills are designed to help you. They're not designed to penalize anyone. This is a series of bills that are now becoming law that says, hey, we are going to give you, meaning if you're working at DOTD, the flexibility and the power to institute change for the betterment of our roads and bridges in Louisiana. So let's get to sign those bills. All right. Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, yeah, we need to. Is Pat here? Ryan? Where's Ryan? I want to thank Senator Pat Connick and Ryan Boriak, both the chairman of the Senate and House Transportation committees. Let's see. All right, so let's see something. Let's start with the chairman. Oh, no, you got your name. This is the big one. That's it. Okay. All right. Senator Reese, listen, this is your bill. You got a package in here. You were busy. You were real busy. They had you on insurance and roads, huh? Come on, close. All right. Senate Bill 231, that's right, huh? Oh, we did that one already? Oh, well, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, we got another one. Though.
So good, we can do it twice.
Oh, we're going to do it twice? Oh, no, we did that one. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Then this is,
Step back out
this,
the way.
well, you can stay there. Doesn't matter. It's a good shot. Okay. Oh, I didn't. Okay. There you go. Now we got something. Here we go. Boriak, how many of these you got? You got all of them? All right, here we go. House Bill 556. The beginning of transforming the Department of Transportation and Development for the people of the state. And it goes to the department. What you gonna do with all your pens? You gonna share one with Pat?
Yeah.
Okay, then 528. A representative. You'll notice. You see, I didn't make those senators make those House members work. Become like Mikey, right? All right. Number 2. that it? We have one more? Don't we have one more? We have one more? Andrew. Oh. Okay. All right. This is the complement of bills. We're going to sign these, and then the folks that, Glenn, y'all going to have to get to work.
Right.
Because the legislature's taking off. They're going on vacation. All right. Y'all didn't hear what he had to say. He said he got an oversight hearing in 2 weeks. Y'all give him a little time.
A little bit of time. Give me a
30
month.
days.
At a month.
Give me a
At a
month.
month.
Give me 4 weeks.
And a month, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. All right, right. Thank y'all so much. This is great.
Yep.
Well, yeah, okay. Let's take some questions real quick. Y'all want to stay around for the questions? All right. Okay. Let's give the press just an opportunity to ask just a couple of questions, and then I know we've got some more bill signings to do in private. Yes, ma'am. Hold on a second. Hey, Joe, y'all hold on 1 second so I can hear her.
What's your expectation? I know you said we'll see. What's your expectation of when rates will start to fall and by what?
Well, let's clarify that. I didn't say that rates were going to go down. The insurance company said that rates were going to go down. Look, this is from a report that is public. You can go and take a look at it. You can read it. It's 5 years old. It measures the rate, the savings that they should be giving us. And this list that we've checked off does not include some of the other bills that we signed today and signed not only today, but 30 days ago as well, like the modified comparative fault, like the credit score bills. Like there is a slew. This was the most historic legal reform done in this state. That is unquestionable. I grew up at a time when the bar was set on legal reform by Governor Mike Foster. We have done more in 18 months than Mike was able to do in 8 years because of the work of these men and women here at the legislature. So I can tell you, like, if rates don't fall, I don't know what else you can do. But the difference is from the past to the present is that we took that balanced approach. Because remember, this is very important. And we can get you that graph if you didn't get it. If anyone in the media did not get this graph, we'll make sure to get it to you. We charted the increase of auto insurance rates from 1990 to today. On an average, they rose $33 a year to a magic point of 2008. In 2008, we stripped away the power of the Department of Insurance from being able to hold down rates, making sure that we were not overcharged. Okay? From 2008 to today, rates increased $110 a year. That's a threefold year after year after year. It's like magic. So again, by taking that balanced approach, by giving our insurance department only the power that our other southern states have, combined with doing everything that insurance companies asked us to do and more, if rates don't fall, you have to ask them. I don't know. There's not much more we can do. Yes, sir.
Speaking of the insurance department, how is your relationship with Tim Temple?
My relationship with him is great. We have given the insurance commissioner all of the power necessary to both protect the citizens of this state and hold insurance companies accountable. He should be my best friend, right? I mean, that's his job. His job is insurance. I look forward to working with him, with Senator Talbot, and with the legislature to continue to focus on property insurance. It's one of the things that I'm extremely interested in doing and talking to reinsurers and trying to find ways. Alabama, again, has seemed to be able to lower their property insurance premiums for their homeowners. Their coast is a little smaller than Louisiana. They got a few less people along their coast, but I believe that they've got a sound model. The question is, can we implement it here and can we be successful? Now, look, we need a little luck. If we could go a year or two without a major storm, that would help us as well. If we could continue to educate our citizens on the fortified roof program. I went to Iberia Parish, the First Lady's home parish. I went to my parish, St. Martin Parish, giving speeches. And I asked this question: how many people in the audience knew about or heard about the fortified roof program? There were hundreds of people there. Like 5 people raised their hands. You see the problem we have? So yeah, look, I think it's a matter of getting information out. I don't see why the insurance commissioner would be upset with me. We have given him all the tools necessary to protect our citizens and to lower the rates. Yes, ma'am.
I am wondering, what about this year's collateral source bill makes it better than the bill you vetoed last?
Well, first of all, we got rid of the percentages. Where's Mike? Mike, you want to speak to that? Would you like to? Come on. I mean, there's a number of I'd rather you hear directly from the.
Yeah, no, thank you, Governor, and I appreciate your support in the bill and the work that Representative Glorioso did on it as well. The primary difference in this bill is that we eliminated any additional recovery beyond what health insurance actually paid. In bills in the past, there have been other percentages that have been added on top of the bills that were actually paid. So the bill basically does 2 things. One, it adds transparency. You're going to tell the jury that the bill has already been paid and exactly what that bill was paid for by the health insurance companies. And then we're going to limit recovery to just recovering what health insurance paid to the medical provider. And so that's the biggest difference between the bill that the governor signed today and the bills that have been presented to him in the past.
And Governor, is there any additional comment you want to add about the collateral source?
Yes, I look, again, if I would remind you, the collateral source started at 100%. And look, here's something that's important to remember about collateral source, because it gets confusing. There are people out there that have health insurance plans that have a maximum amount, there's a life expectancy to those plans. You buy an insurance plan that says you can't spend more. In other words, you cannot cost this policy more than, let's just say, $10 million over the life of the policy. And if you get injured at no fault of your own, why should the policy that you're paying for take money off of that amount? That's what collateral source does. It helps to equalize that and ensures that the person who is legitimately injured is placed in the same position they were before they were injured. Okay? The difference in what we've been doing, in what we've had and what we did, the first time they adjusted collateral source, they went down to, I don't know, 60 or 40%. I don't remember what it was. 40%. So it would be whatever it was times 40%. It's ridiculous. The bill I vetoed last year, I think, was 20%. We eliminated all of that. We tried to create more efficiency inside of the litigation. That's important. Why? The more efficient you make the litigation, the less you have to pay for lawyers, the lower your premium should be.
Just one more question.
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Talking about the fortified roof program, you're talking about doing some educational things to get more people involved with it. I do know that when you have a fortified roofs lottery, it always reaches maximum capacity, and that they're usually limited to coastal parishes. But you say, as a whole, if we get the entire state more fortified roofs, it will help lower the state. Any other incentive programs, like maybe, I got a quote on a fortified roof at $17,000. I don't have normally $17,000 laying around, and I don't think many Louisianans do. Any options possibly for low-term interest rates for people to get, or more tax credits? I know that there's the $10,000 tax credit, but possibly a low-interest loan or increasing the amount for the lottery?
Yeah, look, I tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to bring up the chairman of the Senate Insurance Committee, Senator Talbot. Actually, him and I, and actually Senator Royce Duplessis did a podcast the other day talking about this. This is something that he is extremely passionate on. I'll let him go through a series of things.
Bill, Royce Duplessis' bill, where you were 200% below the poverty level, that never got out of committee. Did you not support that bill?
Yeah, no, look, we're going to be working with Royce and them. I think both Royce and Kirk are both committed to trying to find a way. There are some things that Alabama was able to do that I think was innovative. I'll let Kirk touch on those, and maybe he can, if he wants, he can lay a few markers down for next session.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. First off, we also had, I think it was Senate Bill 28, my bill that gave a $10,000 tax credit. It does have a $10 million cap, but that's something that, we can adjust next year if need be. But you're right. As soon as the lottery opens, those sell out or go very quickly. We also increased the tax deduction from $5,000 to $10,000 to get a fortified roof. And most importantly, Chance Henry had a bill where before we would take state money, about $20 million a year, put it in the fortified roof program. Now we are assessing the insurance industry is going to pay for the fortified roof program, which is going to raise an additional $10 million, Governor, I think. So that's up to $30 million. And, that is our long-term solution for living down here in below I-10 and I-12, where most of our population is. The state auditor did a report that showed fortified roofs are saving 22% on premium. In Alabama, that's 20%. So we're really hitting the mark there. But we're also going to constantly do everything we can to get as many fortified roofs on as possible. It's just it's about money, and it's a lot of money. And I can tell you, even if you have to spend that $17,000, when you look at what you're going to save every year, I think that money's going to be well worth it. Thank you.
I also think I think that there are some creative things that we can do that when we look at the amount of savings that is created when we move people out of Citizens. Let me remind you, Sharon and I's policy in Iberia Parish was with Citizens. So I feel with many of our citizens along the coast feel we paid those high premiums. And so we want to look at that delta between what we save when we move people out of Citizens, or what we can do more by leaning in with Citizens as well. And those are discussions that we're going to continue to have throughout the rest of this year. And we're going to, again, pray real hard that we don't have a hurricane this year. I think that will help us. I think that talking to reinsurers will help. I plan on doing that as well. I also think that working with insurance companies in combination with reinsurers to also do a couple of other things. Like I'll give you an example. I remember when we bought our home in Broussard, we had these 3 large water oaks. Those things are terrible. Okay. They were very close to the home. I don't know how much I ended up paying to remove those 3 trees. I got no credit, but I should have. Right. And so I think that if insurance companies start really drilling down on the things that impact the structures, like the amount of trees around there, and then they encourage us to do things that mitigate the damage during storms, that's a great balance. So we're open to engage insurance companies to have more discussions with the policyholders in ways that we can reduce it. But our commitment is to continue to work on this. Thank you all so very much.